Joining us now here at Nordic Funds and Mines is Omai Gold Mines Corp. And standing beside me is Elaine Ellingham, who is CEO of the company. Welcome, Elaine.
Thank you, Michael.
I think we'll begin with a short introduction of the company.
Okay, great. Yes. Yeah, Omai Gold Mines, we're a small gold company. Our main project is in Guyana. We're a publicly traded company on the TSXV Venture Exchange in Canada. I guess one of the main things about Omai is it was a large past producing mine. And so we went in, started 4 years ago, and like a lot of projects that have been in production before, there was just, we started working and we found out there was in fact more gold beside it, below it, and so it's kind of moved forward from there. We've put out 4 resources, and each one obviously larger than the previous one. And so a big milestone for us was about 3 weeks ago, we put out a very large resource of 6.5 million ounces, and that's in 2 different deposits. And we can talk a bit about those, but it sort of changed the company at a time when the gold price is at an all-time high. So kind of interesting times.
Indeed, and we'll get to all of that, of course. But before we do, could you tell us a little bit about your experiences here at Nordic Funds and Mines so far?
Yeah, well, this is the first time here, first time actually in Sweden. And so, yeah, I guess it's a little bit different because, as I said, the gold price is at an all-time high. So a lot of investor interest in precious metals that we haven't seen for probably a lot of years. And just with all the circumstances in the world today, it looks like the gold price is, going to continue to be strong. So a good time to be looking for new mines.
In April 2024, you released a PEA, Preliminary Economic Assessment, and you have an updated one planned to release just around the corner here. Why did you feel the need for an updated one?
Well, actually, it was why we needed the first one. The first one was actually something that we did more for the government in Guyana, because by filing an initial economic study with a mine plan, you get on the road to permitting. And so really it was two purposes. One, just to show the investors that this project had legs and a path forward. It turned out better than we expected, but the main thing was by providing that to the government, we were able to actually start the permitting process. And so we got an environmental permit within 6 months, and now we've applied for the EIA, the Environmental Impact Assessment, which is a little early, but the government's very receptive in Guyana to mine development, and so they want to see us move forward.
Can you tell us a little bit more about running mine operations in Guyana?
Yeah, I mean, before this, I hadn't worked in the country, but it's the former British Guyana. So, in fact, they speak English, they drive on the left side of the road, they drink tea for breakfast and things like that. Yeah, no, it's quite a great place to work. It's a very small country. The population's only 800,000. So one of the things that's unique about Omai is when it was in production, it was a very large part of their economy. And so because of that, it has a lot of good experience with the population, so they want to see it redeveloped. So in fact, it's been very welcoming for us.
And looking at your 2025 mineral resource estimate, you showed a 96% increase in your open pit Wennet mine. How has this sort of changed expectations for the project?
Yeah, well, it was a large project before, but it sort of, when we started drilling in the past year, one thing is late last year, we started drilling a little bit deeper on the open pit deposit, on the Wennet deposit, and we hit these very wide high-grade zones. And so we kind of said, wow, we should keep drilling those and see how big this thing is. So we went from actually thinking we were going to go to a PEA or updated PEA earlier, and then we went, no, let's just find out how big this thing is. So we added 2.2 million ounces in just a year of drilling, which was amazing. A lot of that's in the inferred category, so we have a lot of work to do. But basically, we wanted to kind of scope out how big it is before we move to that next economic study, if that makes sense.
How does the mineralization sort of look like? Is it narrow or is it wider?
It's what we call these orogenic gold deposits. So very similar to what you see in Canada, and so the kinds of deposits I've worked on my whole life. And so the zones are very continuous along strike. This deposit, the Wennet, is 2.5 kilometers long, which is a very large deposit. A lot of the zones you can actually follow for the whole 2.5 kilometers. So pretty continuous, very pretty looking rocks.
During day one of this event, gold broke through $4,000 per ounces. How has the increased gold price sort of changed internal engagement in working with gold mines?
Yeah, well, a lot of junior companies like ourselves, a few years ago, it was very difficult to raise money. And, now I think gold is seen as one of the go-to stability currencies in the world. Again, a lot of people had always said that it would, people would come back to gold eventually, and it seems they have. So I think it's trickled down to investors feeling very much that, you can buy gold, but if you want even more leverage to the gold price, you get into some of the producers.
You have to correct me if I'm wrong, but you recently acquired new capital into the company. Could you tell us a little bit about your cash position? Are you fully funded?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a financing last week, so our cash position, we're almost 40 million US, which is great for us. It allows us to do all our PEA work, the current drilling, and actually some of the work right through to the pre-feasibility or feasibility stage. So yeah, the gold price was doing very well. Our share price is up, I think, 400 or 500% in the last 8 months or so, or maybe more. It was just a good opportunity to make sure we're well funded to do all the things we can do. And the other thing is in Guyana, they just finished their presidential election. And so like all countries, before the election, all the government's concerned, are we going to get reelected? Yes, they were. They've done a great job. And so really, it's a new day, and they just want to see us move forward. So it made sense to get the funding so that we can really do all those things.
You mentioned before that a higher gold price has sort of increased interest for financing mines. But what did it look like, say, a year ago?
A year ago, it was pretty tight. 2 years ago, it was really tight. But, I guess, if you've got a good project, you kind of, you put all your money in the ground and you try and just keep your head down and keep moving it forward, hoping for a better gold price. And yeah, it's a completely new day. And so the producers are generating tremendous cash flow. And so now I think investors start what we call the trickle-down effect. People make their money on the producers, and then they go into the near producers, and then they start getting down into the exploration companies. And I think we're just starting to see that.
And for investors who are more curious about Omai Gold Mines Corp, what should they look for?
Oh, certainly our website has lots of information, and yeah, I think every investor should always do their homework and dig down and look and see. We've got team of directors, all with decades of experience on various aspects of the mining industry. So I have 40 years in the business myself, and I'm an exploration geologist. So I think you look for skilled people and good projects, good jurisdictions, and yeah, lots of information on our website.
Thank you very much, Elaine Ellingham.
Okay, thank you, Michael.